This takes just a ticket. There we go. Come on, YouTube. There we go. All right, we're live. Josh. The title I put is not hyphenated anymore. Just Josh.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're trying over here, you know.
Appreciate the effort.
That's what we're here to do, is make effort and not much else. Spinning my wheels, that's a whole nother therapy session. So, I'm excited because the whole premise of this is you're going to show looping and give us your thoughts. And it's as open-ended as that. And I'm excited to see and learn things because of it. Like like, for example, when I watched Sorrow, I sat down with the notepad and I wrote out what I heard, the counter melodies, etc. But when he got to the DJ shit, I just I don't even know how to do that. So, you know, like when you listen to a looper and you're trying to break it down, it's hyper technical. So, did you learn more through doing that?
Did I learn through
Lisa, how do you sit down and learn from other loopers?
Oh, great question. I mean, me personally, a lot of it is just like either like you just get in like a Discord call with some other loopers, see what new effects they found or like some new techniques.
Interesting.
And just sharing it like that, just like one-to-one. And then I guess another aspect can be just like seeing, like watching loop station artists perform, see like what kind of movements they're making on the machine, see if you can like replicate it just to see like how they're doing that, and then maybe springboarding off of that to like make your own kind of.
Do you have an example of that? Like anything pop to mind?
Let's see. One thing I can think of, I guess, is like the vinyl flick effect.
Okay.
Especially like in the earlier days of looping, a lot of people. Well, okay, let me restart that. So like with the vinyl flick effect, people like, I want to say like Balance in the GBB 2018. He kind of popularized this, the method of like using vinyl flick to like slow down and then make a note go down an octave to get this go like something like that.
Oh, that's cool. I never would have thought to do that. All right, I have a compilation up here, which is quite long, but you know, if there are moments that you really enjoy, we can skip over to them. Let's get this.
It's been a while since I've. Man, it's been a while since I've watched Balance. Actually, I forgot what he did.
Heard of him, which is unfortunate.
Well, do you want spoilers? Is like how
sure.
he did.
Spoil away.
He got vice champ. He got second place in this year, GBB 2018. And then he competed 2019 and 2021. Didn't go as far, but like still had some nice performances, like overall.
Is he doing it still?
I don't know. Actually, there was a period where we thought he kind of like quit looping. There were like rumors he was actually dropping out of GBB 2021. But then like suddenly he was like, "Oh, hey, I'm back. I'm in GBB again." well, not again, but I'm still in it. I'm gonna be there. But then like today, not I'm not sure like what he's doing these days. Not a lot, not like too much of looping from what I've seen.
Let's take a look, and if there's something that catches your eye, just pause it and we can talk about it.
For the vice champion, Balance.
Oh, I recognize him from something or another. Just haven't been on the looping train. Also, high budget intro. Props to that speaker.
Do or trust them, probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my brain is right. La di da di da di da. Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring your friends around. Only few I'm holding down. La di da di da di da. Do or trust them, probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my brain is right.
That's really clever.
Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring your friends around. Only few I'm holding down. La di da di da di da. Do or trust them, probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my only few I'm holding down. La di da di da di da. Do what trust them, probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my brain is right. La di da di da di da. Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring your friends around. Only few I'm holding down. La di da di da di da. Do what trust them, probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my brain is right. La di da di da di da. Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring your friends around.
What that effect
Only
is.
few I'm holding down. La di da di
They're the
da
one he's
di
using
da.
right now.
Do what trust them,
I
probably
think
not.
it's
I
probably
think that you're
lo-fi.
probably fly.
Yeah, the lo-fi one.
Lo-fi kind of bass.
Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring your friends around. Only few
That was
I'm
kind of
holding
popular.
down. Do what trust them, probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my brain is right. Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring your friends around. Only few I'm holding down.
Oh man, that's the vinyl flick we're talking about?
This is not the vinyl flick. I think he's
Okay.
just like transposing it.
Gotcha.
I think he uses the vinyl flick thing.
I love this. Okay, boy, I don't even know how you'd start to talk about that. There are definitely one of the big challenges in looping is creating song structure. So EDM structure is very kind to the looping format.
Right.
I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. The RC505 does have some quantization, right?
Yes. It does, yes.
Okay. So there's a little bit less risk of everything flopping and doing crazy things. But it's not like perfect because, like maybe you want to do 30-second notes or stuff like that. So it's not like hyper aggressive. So these offbeats are cool. And then all the little echoey things he does. Man, I want to let me bring that up because I'm curious about what that is. Yeah.
Do what trust and probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that my brain is right. Da dee da dee da dee da. Do not tell my volume down. Do not bring your friends around. Only few I'm holding down. Da dee da dee da dee da. Do what trust and probably not. I think that you're probably fly. I think that
Yeah,
my brain
you'd
is right.
repeat.
Da dee da dee da dee da. Do not turn my volume down. Do not bring
yeah.
your friends around. Only few I'm holding down. Da dee da dee da dee da. Do what trust.
That moment, he's there are a few moments where he's like scrambling. Maybe he's not, yes, maybe that's unfair. He's just like pushing buttons super fast. So like how is that done? I guess
But like what he did. In
there
that,
are some
or-
parts there, yeah, that I really want to know. And that's not
Yeah. And any like specific parts you can like kind of analyze.
Can you walk me through the layers that are here currently, that are playing currently?
Yeah. I'll just like scroll back a little bit and then play.
Mm-hmm.
Only few I'm holding down. Only few I'm
So like that. Clap, like that kind of part.
Yeah, the spit snare with clapping, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I can just scroll back and see what he did. From here, I can assume that maybe he just like pressed record for like a quarter of a measure. Just do like a simple, just like so, it's just like a snare on every beat, and then he overdubs it with like a snare on the offbeat.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have like a looping eighth note kind of snare thing going on.
So how do you practice? Because I imagine that needs a lot of creative experimentation to kind of take, like, you know, a beat, like, you know, like I'm gonna do a quarter note right here. Because for those who don't know, you have to you can plan how long something is going to record relative to the BPM. So you can do, you know, eighth notes, quarter notes, measure or two on the RC505. So when did that start happening, when like the quarter note element of all of this that you just said, like what's the origins of that? Or at least is that an obvious tool to use for looping?
Like was setting the measure lengths like always a thing? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, and particularly how do you play with that? How do you approach that, and how do you practice that?
I want to say that like at least maybe around this time, but especially like before this, like way in the past, a lot of looping was mostly I don't think a lot of people like set their measures. It was just like, you know, record and then tap when you're done, and then that would be it. To answer like your other question, like how do you approach using that like in an efficient way? I would say like for me, when I make my tracks, if I know that a certain element of the track will be this long, let's say like this kick snare, is it stop.
Damn,
That's
nice
like
snare.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so like what I just did is, let's say, one measure.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that like I'm not deleting that track, I'm not really manipulating it any other way. So I can say, okay, I'll go ahead and solidify that track to be one measure. That way I can just like press it, record for one measure, let it like stop on its own. That way there's like less mental, I don't need to like think about it as much in like a live performance. Because like in the moment, obviously you're thinking about a lot of things, so
yeah, there's a
less
lot
things to think about.
I was actually going to say, when a looper has the what is it? There's the input effects, and then there's the output effects, or the whatever we would call that on the right side. And whenever a looper touches those, I'm like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah.
Because, and he was doing that. Let me try to see if I can find it. He was doing it in this actual portion where he's pressing a lot of buttons.
Only few I'm holding down.
So that, I guess, would be simply enough. It's he takes the puts the post effect on whatever whether that was the bass or whatever it was before, and then he's able to transpose it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like the transpose function isn't just like a bunch of half steps, right? This is just, it's smooth. There's gradation to it, right? Let me see if I'm hearing that right.
Well, I was gonna say the transpose effect isn't like smooth. It actually is just like half steps, like semitones going up or down.
I suppose that's good depending on the situation, good or bad. Okay. Whoops. Hold on one moment. Alrighty. Okay. Do you want to see another? We can talk about another. Is there any specific performance from him that you'd really like to talk about?
I mean, I guess, would you want to see like the vinyl flick thing I was talking about, just so you like, know what I was?
Absolutely. You want to throw that in the watch together?
It should be in this video. It's one of these performances. Let's see. This one, I think. Yeah.
That's really slick.
Well, I think like later on.
Yeah.
First, yeah. Right there.
Oh, that's the vinyl flick?
That's the vinyl flick.
Wait, what? Oh, first of all, that's a banger of a tune. Damn. There's so much there. The beginning, he's using, was it lo-fi or was it some sort of granular ring or whatever?
Yeah, I think like the main like thing that's getting that note is like a granular delay. And then like if you notice here-ish. Well, I mean, I'm sure that's like some kind of transpose or he's manipulating some value to get it. But there was like this part here where he was like manipulating it like more.
Yeah, when he develops the...
Yeah. Yeah, like right there.
So one of the things I gotta ask here, because this is one of the things that I struggle with when I play at looping. The taking something that's already a recording and then being able to change, like arpeggiate or do something else, that I didn't know that happened, right? Like I don't know how people do that, some sort of magic trick, because I put the track down, and then if I want other notes, I have to record again. So how is that done?
I think here, specifically this, the whatever he's doing there. I believe that is in the delay effect, because like you can change by the millisecond, like how the interval between like the input sound and the delayed version of the sound. So if you go like really high, like in the tens, like 10 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds, you get these like frequencies, and I believe he's just manipulating, like he puts a delay effect on track effects, and then he's switching between like 5 milliseconds, 4 milliseconds, and that goes like 444, 5555, 666, or whatever. But
Wow.
like that's the main idea.
Hold on,
how
I'm
he's
going to
doing
need to
that.
hear that again after I close the door. I'm not a professional. Come on. Okay. Okay. So you use the delay effect. Do you have the RC505 on you right now? Versus, like, is it going to be a signal chain into your computer? It's totally fine if it's not.
I don't. It's like
That's all right.
somewhere here. Sorry.
So okay. Yeah, Mr. I don't have to find SUO. The
Mr.
delay.
Suo.
Am I right? Okay, this blew my mind. So you were translating the milliseconds in the effect by using the delay. You time the milliseconds as if it were a beat. So is that correct? So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 4, 4 in 60 BPM, and I wanted to, what is it? That is, yeah. So one beat would be 1 second. So then I would adjust the milliseconds to be something like an eighth note relative to that. So that would be, was it 1,000 milliseconds to 5,000 or to 500 milliseconds, and then et cetera, right? The quarter to the eighth to the 16th. Is that the idea here?
Yes, but even like more extreme. I mean, because with delay, you can set it to either like note values or just like straight up how many milliseconds you want in between. Like I was saying before. So like, you can set it to like, like in the tens of milliseconds. So just like almost instantaneous. But in that delay, you are, because it's like so close. I'm not like a sound master or anything, but like speaking in layman's terms, you get like this frequency depending on how far that interval is. So like here, he's just playing with the extremes and just changing, like manually changing at every beat, I guess, like between 5 milliseconds to get one frequency, and then switch it to 6 milliseconds to get like that lower frequency.
Does
that give like a little more insight?
Yeah. It's as difficult as I imagined it would be.
Like,
so that's just
changing
delay.
manually. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So he's using the delay to change the pitch, and he's not re-recording it, right? He's just doing that.
Correct. It's just the track effects is just applied after you record it, and then he's just manipulating that with that effect.
That's super sick. Who figured that one out? Well, if we use delay, we can change the pitch. It's usually not what a delay effect is for.
Right, yeah. With the 505, we got like super... We have to get creative with like the limitations of the machine.
There's a reason I stick to Ableton now.
Of course. Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't too much around at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like too sure of like when the idea of like using delay or granular delay to get notes. I'm not really sure when that trend started. But I think, yeah, like at least 2018, 2019 is when it like became a bit more popular, I'd say.
How do you practice this? Do you just like get a noise going, just kind of screw around with the track effect?
What you can do is like, even just like in the input effects, have like a delay or grand delay, and then just make like random noise, like, and then see what frequencies are made at certain values. Just turn the knob as you and
That's
see see what you can make out of that.
One of these days I have to do a video where you try and teach me how to do all this crap. Maybe not, but okay, let's move on. Is there another performance that or if you wanted to talk about, because I keep stopping you before you get to the vinyl, do you want to talk a little bit more specifically about that moment where he's using the vinyl?
I mean, that was like one of the main moments. I think like he uses it again in like the final round. It's kind of like in a similar way. So nothing like too different. Like that was pretty much all I wanted to show you.
Okay. Like, where was that again? Just because we went off on delay and I want to I want to find that.
Somewhere. I'll play it real quick.
Okay. Where's your delay?
Okay, somewhere here. $9.44.
Wow. I didn't. How does it wait? Because when you do the vinyl, I thought the track stopped. Does it not?
If you, so like by default, so a vinyl flick can have a value between 0 and 100. By default, it's at 50. So it will like gradually slow down and then stop. If it's anything between 50 and 100, it will slow down to that point relative to the value, but keep going.
Wow.
If you do it 0 to 50, it'll actually reverse. The track will reverse and then still
and you'll
have
go
that,
higher.
By default, if you just like press it and then it's at like a 0 to 50 value, it'll be how do I word this? Is this sounding too complex at all?
No, I think it comes with the territory, right? Like, yes, it's complex, but without this level of thought and planning, you don't get a sick loop track. All right.
That's
like,
true, yeah.
At least not in the way that, when MB14 came along and he was doing looping, like that's the more traditional example, right? You just kind of loop and all that stuff. But the DJ element with sorrow and like the delay stuff, like this is some mad scientist crap. So, don't worry about it being too complex. I don't think there's any other way to go about it, really. So with the vinyl effect, you're talking about
with the vinyl, what was I saying? Yeah, with the 0 to 50, it will the values between 0 and 50, and then 50 and 0 are like mirrors of each other, and I'll explain like that in a second. So like 100 and 0 are mirrors, 99 and 1, 98 and 2, and so on. So any value between 0 and 50 will it'll first slow down, and then the track will start to reverse, and then it will stop at the pitch relative to the 50 to 100 scale. So let's say so for example, a value of 75, the vinyl flick will cause a track to pretty much pitch an octave down, pretty much like exactly, and slow down. So if you do the mirror of that, which would be 25, 25, the track will slow down, come to a stop, and then start to reverse, and then it'll eventually end up with a reverse track an octave down. If that makes sense.
Not really, but it's one of those things where like I it would help to see it. You know
Yeah,
what?
I was gonna say, I'm sure
there is
this
a
would
way to
make-
do this. Hold on. We're gonna get high tech over here. All right, people, hold on. Okay, remember when I said do the lesson thing? Screw it. We're gonna
Lesage
do
looping?
it. Lesage looping is gonna be an embarrassing thing.
This is the new segment of the show.
I'm
I'm
too curious about this. You know, I really like this. Looping is my favorite part of the beatbox scene at the moment. And
Nice.
it's something
Good
that
choice.
is it's something that I'm very much interested in. Holy crap. You're making me bust out the Logitech, which is so tangled. My cable management is
man.
awful. Okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, let's see. Camera. Actually, you know what? Here, this would be better. And camera, video capture. Okay. And this is the Logitech. Ideally, I would use my phone, but 80. These cameras are like archaic. Man.
Oh, are you getting like a loop cam?
Yeah, I'm trying to set up a loop cam right now, and
Oh
it's
my.
the Logitech is giving me some sass right here. Let's see. I did have another one. There's got to be a way to make this work. Come on, Logitech camera. Okay.
Oh, Logitech.
Unplug and replug. Yeah, I mean that was my first camera when I started. When I get that YouTube money, and bought an actual camera. There we go. Yeah, just turn it on and off. There you go.
Ooh.
Slap it around a little. Okay. And now I'm outed myself. The deflector that I'm using is a cardboard box.
Hey,
so
respect.
it looks all high
Do what you
tech.
gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if this is a better spot to put it. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Luckily, I'm editing this shit, and you're not gonna have to see this vomit-inducing shaky cam, like a Jason Bourne situation. Now I imagine you're gonna need to see the actual effect where it's kind of like blown out right now. I'm gonna put it up on Discord real quick. Need to get my camera. Boop. Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I guess you can just like tell me what you're seeing, and then
sure.
I can like navigate.
And also,
from there.
there's a way to
I
turn
know
the
what you're
brightness
at.
down.
You could actually turn the brightness a bit, the LED.
Camera. And then who did this? Oh my goodness. Clearly, I'm prepared for this. Okay, so that is actually on the lowest setting. I think it's bright. All right, whatever. All right. Let's give this a shot. This is dirty, quick and dirty content.
Splendid.
All right. I'll put I'll start virtual camera, and that's how we'll do it. Let's see. Did I just nuke Discord? Did I just nuke you?
You kind of dipped, and I was like, "Oh,
When?
where'd he go?"
Yeah, I tried to turn on my camera. There we go. Yeah. All right.
Ooh, all right,
Yeah, getting bougie
Nice.
right now.
all right. Love to see it.
Okay. So vinyl and mirroring and crazy complicated crap. I don't even know if this one is worth saving. No, screw it. I'm going to delete it. One of my favorite things is that I found out you can delete all the tracks at once by holding all the buttons at once. That was my big discovery.
Ah,
I'm an innovator.
you would you like to know a even more efficient way of doing that?
Yeah.
Hold the all start stop button. It does the exact same thing.
Are you serious? That
All
makes
the
sense.
tracks get deleted. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, you know what? I'm taking notes. That's cool. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. This is good. Actually, I'm gonna, instead of I usually have a very strict routine in order to optimize output, but because I got a job, thank God, I can actually open this up in DaVinci and we can be a little bit more freeform. So, okay.
Nice.
So I'm gonna do. So for this vinyl thing, let me put a track down. Does it have to be anything specific?
Maybe just to see the effects of it. Maybe try, just like a note that you know.
Sustain a note.
Sustain a note, probably.
All right. This is the day an opera singer starts to loop. All right. Just get a note here. All right. Let's do. All right. All right. And I think this is on. Okay. I was about to make myself look like an idiot, and I was like, "Is it going to be 3/4 or something?" All right. I got the open there. All right. So flanging it, you're talking about track effects, right? We're over here?
Yeah, so track effects.
Now, is that on the A one?
Yeah, so vinyl flick is only usable on A if you're using multi effects.
Okay.
On that. Yeah.
So I have vinyl. And so I'm going to the parameters. So vinyl flick, this is 50. What do I do here?
Yeah.
75?
If you want, go ahead, just so we can see the differences. You can start at 50 and then see.
And just turn it as the track goes, yeah?
Or just, go ahead and play the track with vinyl flick button.
That sounds like my dog being hungover or something.
Yeah, so if you want to try 75 next, get that octave effect.
I mean, I kind of like the way that it sounds. It reminds me of you ever listen to Infected Mushroom?
I have not.
It's they do a lot of sick stuff, and they get these sounds like this, and I never knew how it was done. And there might be a very different way to achieve it, but this is cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go make a looping video, and I'll be like, "Yo, I'm so clever. I invented this. I'm an innovator with a Logitech camera." Okay. So, do you mind if we go over the delay thing?
Ooh, the delay, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let me see if I can fix up my camera again. I probably can't. This is too high tech. There we go. Okay.
It's very
just
high tech.
As well. Yeah, just as well. The picture of my wife was there, and she doesn't. Probably take off. Got a bunch of mail shit. Docs. It's worth it. Holy crap! I need to cable management. This is my wife always tells me it's a mess here, and I should clean it up. And I'm like, nah. I use it every day. I gotta clean it. It doesn't need to be cleaned. No.
True.
Yet another I told you so that my wife gets to lord over me. It's gonna be easier. Oh my god. There should be a content warning on this. Like, can cause nausea. Alright. We're doing it for educational purposes.
That's right. We're learning today.
Learning how to Jason Bourne. Oh, almost had it. Almost had it.
Oh.
Whoa. Oh.
Oh,
Hey.
there we go.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. Mission accomplished. Now we can do what we came here to do, delay.
All right. For the way that Balance used it, I'd recommend like just any percussive sound really. Just like a hi-hat or
Okay, I like hi-hat. Right. Let me do the thing we were talking about earlier, the measure nonsense. So if I do. Yeah, I did it. I'm cutting out, aren't I?
Do you have a slicer on by any chance?
That's what I'm thinking.
You're coming in very sliced.
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
I think I had a slicer.
Oh my.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on?
That's how the slicer works.
Yeah, well, thank you. All right. So I have the hi Anya. You want to go see mommy, don't you? I gotta open the door for my dog. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
I know, you're adorbs. Blah, blah. Not my cardboard.
Not the cardboard.
Come on.
What's that?
All right. My dog is very, very needy, but we love her. So, okay. Now this is interesting. So what you're saying is that this is also a track effect.
Yeah, it's also this is the way he uses it is track effects.
Okay, so I have 140 milliseconds. Do I just turn that knob?
Yeah, turn that to the left. We got to get small values.
Button. Okay, 30 milliseconds. Is that low enough?
Gotta get smaller than that.
Oh, snap. Okay, all right.
Oh yeah.
Living dangerous. All right.
Try let's see. Even 4.
All right. Whoa.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding.
Okay.
We gotta get low.
All right. I'm a bit scared to play the button here.
Make sure your feedback setting is not 100, or else then your ears might blow up.
Hold on. Wait. So just for context, I have performed with this thing before, and let me tell you, it gets bad real fast.
Oh.
Yeah. Feedback. Okay, where's the feedback setting now?
It should be the one if you're on the time value, it should be the one next over to the right.
This one. The time value. Okay. So this is going to be. It's not memory, right? It's going to be system. Memory. Oh no. Feedback. Got it. That's on the effect itself.
Oh yeah, feedback on the effect itself.
Got it. Okay, feedback's at 22. Is that going to work?
Okay. Let's see.
Are we going to blast the ears of viewers here?
If we do this right, it shouldn't.
Okay. For the
let's
sake,
start.
Viewers have been warned. I'm actually going to mute my mic on OBS to spare people. Okay.
Just in case. Yeah, do you hear those like those subtle, at least like in the sound you did, like those subtle frequencies as you turn
It's
it on?
super subtle. Like you said, you have to almost tune to the millisecond. So like so it's like this. That's crazy. Who the hell thought of that? Who sat
knows?
there with the delay and was like,
Someone who was just really bored, had too much
clearly.
time,
Like,
and really wanted to win.
One of the things I love about beatboxers and the beatboxing community is that because it's so young, people don't give a shit about how hard it is or how much time it takes. Because if I wanted to do that, I literally open Ableton for the cost of an RC505, and I have that effect. Issue with that is it's not as good live, right? Which is where the RC505 can shine. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
Ableton is literally designed to be used live, but it's a lot more convoluted and certainly less reliable. You know, the RC505 is solid state. So, okay, so you're blowing my mind. We got delay changing pitch discovered by some mad scientist child with too much time on his or her hands.
It's pretty accurate.
And then we have the vinyl flick for additional pitch manipulation. Do you have the Mark II, out of curiosity?
I do. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that's packed up right here.
Pitch manipulation is interesting. I gotta mute the Discord prompts. Oh well, another time. So, all right, let me close. Let's just is that Discord? I think no, that's Facebook, isn't it? I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
Something.
It's something. Okay. So I've learned to vinyl flick and I've learned to delay. So I'm basically a pro.
Pretty much. Actually, like that's that's not even an exaggeration. Like at least a lot of, especially like beginning loopers, since the delay and grand delay are like some of the only effects that can like consistently create like tones or like synthesizer like sounds. A lot of people just like to use that. They'll use like granular delay for notes, a delay with like 100 feedback for a bass line, and then vinyl flick just to, I don't know, some random manipulation. That is to say, you are literally a looper now. Congratulations, welcome to the club.
Thank you. I earned it. So then at this point it's about the execution, right? So there are the ideas. Now I have to walk through building a track, right? So do you just set, and God, I hope the cameras, hey, we're still in, okay. So do you just map all of these to different delay and vinyl flick values?
Yeah, like if I want like certain tones at certain points, like at the tap of a button, then like I'll set like B to like some value 5. I'll set C to some value 14. Sometimes you could just do it, like just do it manually if you feel.
Which is
that,
what he
like,
was doing in order to get that kind of pitch variation melody thing,
right?
That Balance was doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang. So in your thing is in your wild card, you do all the things. So I kind of want to bring that up. So you have an excuse now, right? Like we can react to your stuff and I can plug you and it'll be very positive and you look humble. right? Like no
yes,
one's gonna.
Yeah, this is the best setup.
There you go. All right, let me put this in. All right, compromise. Is that going to be a
compromise? That's a good one.
Okay. All right. What? Hold on. We got to stop for a second. Where is this window capture? Is that? There it is. Okay. Voila. All right.
Ah, there we go.
Are you using a filter here?
For my kicks, I use EQ and then a high pass filter.
Okay.
That,
wow.
that is
okay. You double down.
Yeah, that is like a popular thing to do, like with loopers. I know like the EQ just to accentuate the actual beatbox sound.
Yeah.
And then the high pass to create like a bassy resonance to go with it.
That's crazy.
So like the two together just makes like a nice.
That's insane to me because when you think about a filter, a high pass filter, low pass filter, right? No, you're doing a high pass.
A lot of people do get like confused when they hear that. At least I don't know if this is a thing with actual music production, but at least on the 505, the high pass filter resonance does create like bassy frequencies.
But that's bizarre that it's on. Hold on. Oh yeah, we got to go back to the RC 505 here. Okay, so this reverb. Now filter's going to be on.
I like to. A lot of people like to do filter followed by EQ for their kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't like that approach because what you're doing is boosting those bassy resonances, which will just create like a really loud bassy kick.
So what you're saying is that you're a rebel.
Pretty much, yeah. I broke out of the system, did my own thing. I do EQ followed by filter.
Okay.
Just so that they work in tandem.
Okay, so now for the EQ we just cut off the highs. Imagine maybe the high mids as well.
I'm trying to remember like what I do. Like with my kick, I boost the lows by like a medium amount. I actually increase the highs just a little bit. Because
or just the highs?
The highs. Yeah, because you don't really want. Well, this is like a thing I like to say, especially like when I was teaching loop station stuff. At least my philosophy, like you don't really want your kick to be your bass line. You don't really want those to mix. So like having that separation, having some amount of highs, not too much obviously, but not killing the highs basically on your kick will be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, will be beneficial.
So I think I just made a sound.
Yeah, I heard. I was like, ooh. Ooh.
That's fun. That's at 100 resonance. Should I've never when I use an EQ in a DAW, I never like look. It's funny. I actually, like you look to take out resonance when you're mixing a track. You take the EQ and you cue it so that it's like super narrow, and then you bring the volume all the way up and you sweep to find resonance. And then you bring it down.
Yeah.
Because resonance muddies everything. But I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Okay, so I have the low pass. I have the EQ. Am I gonna put it together and do a kick?
You said you had a low pass?
Sorry, high pass. It just blows my mind that it's a freaking high pass, but we're doing low notes.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. Like I said, maybe it is like a thing in actual production, but otherwise I wouldn't know. But yeah, make it a high pass to get that nice resonance. You said your resonance was at 100?
Yes. Did I tell them?
Yes, that will be very high. We want to turn that down a wee bit. A lot of people like to use 43. That seems to be like a sweet spot, kind of.
That is oddly specific.
It is very specific. I think a lot of people have too much time on their hands.
Yeah, I'm... What? Like, this is... If you're a pianist, to me, this is the equivalent of extended technique where, like, people are, like, hitting the piano and playing the string with their hands, which is sacrilege.
Oh, yeah.
That just damages the piano strings, and I see people using it on a Steinway Grand, and I'm like, how dare you? But this is extended technique, and it's like, you know, Chopin had the pedal. Big deal. 200 years later, someone's flicking the string with a finger. Beatboxing loopers, setting 43 on the high pass filter, followed by the EQ usually, but you can also do it the other way. Who sat there and was like 42, 44, man, you know what? What? All right, hold on. I gotta do this now.
I can see your mind being blown, just like to smithereens right now.
Pretty much. All right, so that's the...
Ooh, is your hang on, let me refresh my filter knowledge. I'm assuming you haven't changed the rate of the filter?
What would the rate go to?
You want to put that at 0. Because we don't want any, like... We don't want the filter to be a filter. Yeah, we want it to not
strictly
be a
for
filter.
The resonators.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty silly. I like that.
Yeah, so like rate 0. I don't believe the depth really affects it for this purpose. That the depth is mostly for the rate. But resonance at like 43, and then what's your cutoff at?
50.
A lot of people will turn that down a lot. Try 11. That's the one I use.
They'll just like hang out in a Discord, turning knobs, basically, is what you're telling me.
Like a bunch of nerds.
That's how you learned. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so hold on. Here we go. Ooh, that is meaty.
Yeah.
Damn. Don't bring that to a vegan.
That should be.
I actually, for the most part, practice veganism, so, you know. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay. So.
Yeah, that's how you get that meaty kick.
Okay. So, how long did that take to discuss the first 21 seconds of your performance? Let's put your performance back on. Oops. Got a little excited. All right. So that's the meatiness of the kick. Now we won't go on a tangent for the snare, but did you put anything on the snare?
For my snares, I just use EQ. A lot of people will put some other like manipulation on it, like and like maybe even reverb. I think like reverb on snares is great, but like Me, I just keep them dry. I don't know. I
Okay.
guess it's a stylistic choice.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. All right, let's hit it. Okay, so how are you doing that bass line?
Ooh, that's gonna be a guitar to bass.
Really?
Yeah, just to get those bass notes.
So you take a guitar to bass and then put it all the way on the low.
I not like all the way.
43?
Say a little bit more than that though, like 70s.
Okay.
Um,
So you
and
swing
then-
it 70 towards the guitar bass towards the bass.
correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
70 leaning toward more of the
All
bass
right.
effect.
I was surprised it wasn't like 71.5 or something.
Okay. Yeah.
0.022.
I wasn't super exact.
Okay. So now I have to ask, the hand motions that you're making there, that is part of your technique, right?
Which hand motions?
The kind of the things you were doing there. I shit you not, when I do like hand motions with opera, and it actually does help me. So I don't know if this helps you on your timing or anything, but it's right there. See that hand motion?
Okay. Yeah, I
Different
think
style.
like half keeping some kind of rhythm and then half just like accentuating it for the camera, saying like
Yeah, you're working the cam
for more
Got it.
impact. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, performance. All right.
Oh yeah. Visual aspect, very important.
Absolutely. What? How are you getting that auto tune sort of effect?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Am I like giving away your trade secrets right now?
No. I mean, like, I won't give like exact values, but like, I think this track's been around long enough that like I'm willing to share some like information on it because I know a lot of people have been wondering.
Okay, so we heard it here first. The big secret: opening up the vault. How's it done?
So yeah, this one, it is the auto tune is the electric effect on the Mark II, which is just an auto tune basically.
Oh, there is an auto tune on the Mark II.
There is. It's not like super sophisticated. I assume just to make room for resources for other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, for this, like the purposes that I use it for, just like straight notes for chords, it's like splendid.
That's a good point because that's something that's the hardest part, I think, with the RC505 was constructing harmony. Right now, the Mark II has. You don't agree? Was it?
Oh no, I was in agreement.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in agreement.
Okay. Because I would take correction from you. So, all right. So now we have a harmonizer in the Mark II, and now we have the auto tune. So we're going T-Pain. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that you're layering it. It's not necessarily like you're not just trying to establish a chord. Obviously, that's been successful, but you're also trying to shape the sound by using more overdubs, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, like with my tracks, I like to make like the build up section of the track like interesting to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So like purposefully having like overdubbing the harmonies shows like, oh, he's singing. Oh, now he's singing a second harmony, a third harmony. No, wait, a fourth harmony. Like it's that progression, and then everything comes together at like when everything starts playing.
All right. So both pragmatic and battle ready. All right. Let's take a look at this again.
There's a piece of harmony that we lack. It's always one step forward and three back.
Oh, okay, editing.
That's fun doing that.
Compromise, 'cause there's no compromise.
Okay, delay.
No compromise.
I know you like that.
There's no compromise.
Was that the echo?
Yeah, the little
Yeah.
panning echo. Yeah.
I was-
Nice little detail.
Yeah, no, and that's it. It's a detail. It's unbelievably subtle, right? No, I mean maybe not like super unbelievable. I'm like orange, and I have no idea why. This is.
Is your
like,
box still working?
Was that?
Is your box still working?
It's no, it's not doing its job really. All right, hold on. I thought the solution would be to increase the blue light, and I don't think that's it. Whatever. All right. I ate too many carrots. So
There you go.
okay. So the echo thing is cool. And then you have one thing I find is interesting, and I'm sorry that we're getting into the weeds here, but Antares Autotune has issues with thirds. The tuning of the thirds, and as a pianist, actually, you'll be able to appreciate this. You know, in just tuning, you can get a much cleaner third than you can with, I forget what we use, like whatever all half steps are equal. I forget what that's called. Even temperament? Yeah. I think it's even temperament.
Sounds correct.
Because that would, yeah, it is even tempered. Okay. So, and even tempered with all the values being the same, the thirds and the quality of the thirds kind of go down, right? How is it that this auto-tune, when you're using it, doesn't seem to have that effect?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's get into the weeds here. I'll play back. Notice things that I'm doing here as I'm filling the harmony.
I was going to say you're using inversions and stuff, but
wait, come right. No. Okay. So then the second one starts. I turned the knob a little bit. Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea why I would do that?
you can increase the sense, the pitch by sense, right?
No, that's not it.
Really? Okay. Turning the knob to change the notes?
Getting warmer.
I think. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You got me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting what you were saying about like the third stuff. Because the electric effect on the Mark II, the way it works, you can either set it to like a chromatic scale, so it will, if you're singing a note, it'll just try to cling to the closest note, as opposed to you can set it to a certain scale, like C major, A minor, D major, B minor, and it will only hit notes within that scale, like a normal auto-tune. So obviously, let's see. This song is in. It's D sharp minor. So that was the. Is it?
It's oddly specific.
Anyways, the key that I have the electric effect in is the primary key. And obviously, when I'm doing those, like, I don't know the terminology offhand, but like those.
I want to walk it back a little bit. You're gonna go with D sharp instead of E flat. Like, dang, Brand.
I'm sorry. Is that a crime?
Yeah, you know, you're thinking on another level. You're like, I could go with you know, a couple flats, but we're gonna put all of the sharps in there.
I was just visualizing like on the keyboard. Okay, I'll just do that.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, so the electric effect is in the primary key. So with the thirds, when I'm doing those like spicy chords, like that second chord, the third in the scale is not like the note that I want for that second chord is not in the scale of the electric effect. So with that knob, I'm on the fly, I'm changing the scale that the autotune is trying to recognize. Either like
and
one
that's
up
how
or
you
one
get
down.
that boop, that kind of like the double note. Doop, 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 that part? Or is that just you singing?
I think that's just me singing. With the electric, what I was talking about is so I can get those notes that I wouldn't be able to do if I just stuck with that key in the electric effect. If that did that make any sense at all?
Yeah, I guess what prompted this discussion was even temperament versus just tempered. So are you trying to get cleaner thirds using that, or are you talking about like mode mixture?
Oh,
well, anything in harmonic, really.
I don't want to say this is out of my territory, but like I don't really know like the terminology offhand. So
I went super nerd. I loved written theory. Mode mixture is just like replace anything with you know, major and minor modes, right?
Right, like just changing the mode.
Yeah. So if you do in major major 4, you can do a mode mixture in minor 4.
Right.
And it's really cool. I used to do the Bach chorales. I would change all the notes. No one cares about this right now. But it was fun. Okay. So it's simple in terms of, this is what I love about it. As far as the structure of it, it's pretty simple. But the execution is next level. Okay. Want to listen a little bit more of this. Can I just say, did you have to clear your throat there? Like, was that planned? Because it works.
No, that was intentional. That's an intentional.
Okay, yeah. I was like, did he just cough in time? I actually met someone who did that. We were jamming, and he started coughing, and so he did it in time, which was fun. But okay, intentional. Good.
Harmony that we lack, it's always one step forward and 3 back. What's it gonna take to come to a compromise? 'Cause there's no compromise.
Love that one. Now, question about the vocals.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people when they EQ vocals, they'll boost the highs. I don't hear that necessarily. Is that what's going on a little bit, or do you EQ the voice at all?
Yeah, for my like main singing vocals, I use a combination of EQ and dynamics, just for some compression.
Dynamics.
Yeah.
Now that is on the original, right? The RC505, or is that exclusive to Mark II?
It is, yeah, on the Mark I. I will say, I do use on the Mark II. I use dynamics after EQ. So EQ then dynamics. On the
Okay.
Mark 1, you can only use dynamics on slot A.
Okay.
So it had to be dynamics followed by, I guess, the EQ is what you would do. Reason being is, since it is mostly just a compressor, like I would rather compress my EQ'd sound rather than EQ my compressed sound, because, you know.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, because when you compress the EQ'd sound, you're getting rid of a lot of the squirreliness that might come with doing it afterwards. And it would be one thing if this were a DAW, but it's a live performance. So you can't rely on the same EQ working on the same level of compression.
There's no compromise. You know this isn't how it needs to be.
Okay. What the fuck? Like, how did you become Elephant and the Chipmunks? What was your training like?
Oh, well, see, I trained with no so are you talking? Yeah, you're talking about this melody that I'm doing.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you about how you learned to sing, because what you're doing is very, very pop technique, which is super, super soft spoken, like very light and close to the microphone, and it gets very clean sound, and it's technically, you can do more with it. Yeba is like the goddess of that. Although she's like, it's so
Yeba.
extreme. She's not, was that, oh, you listen to Yeba. Good. Yeah. She's crazy. But she uses that she puts it to the extreme. But the reason I'm asking is because you are doing stylistically vowels in places that are not optimal. And it sounds fine because you're adjusting for it with breath and all the other things that you're doing. So I'm curious about if you're dialing in your RC505 effects to 43. I'm going to keep coming back to that, by the way. So what was your process for learning to sing? Was that very specific?
Just like singing in general, like how let's see. Let's go back to the past real quick. I was classically trained as a pianist. I think I come from a musical family. My parents were singers, and like we would sometimes like sing like family songs like at our church. So I've been singing like for a while, and then I was gonna say a little bit after I started piano lessons, I started doing vocal lessons with the same instructor. Not like classical or anything, just like some songs from a songbook. It could be like folk songs or like Broadway kind of style.
I'm very glad I learned. I'm not certified, huge asterisk, but the Estel method is a way of mentally framing singing, not strictly from a classical point of view. So very hard to find people who are willing to take that seriously. All right.
Oh, that's interesting.
So Broadway, folk songs, just in general, singing. You sing.
Yeah, just variety, whatever's in her songbooks. And then, yeah, so like I remember she would always try to make me sing, like I would say sing a certain way, but like do certain things in singing, like don't, or like obviously like open your jaw more, or like make sure your positions are like this when you're singing.
I gotta say, so that generally does make sense. Have you ever seen Rochelle Farrell?
I have not, no.
Okay. Oh man, no, I have to bring. Okay, you're gonna flip. I think this is gonna blow your mind.
Okay.
Because you obviously like to mess with sound, and so I want to
welcome
bring
Rochelle
to your
Farrell.
attention Rochelle Farrell, because she uses her face hole for basically sound design,
Interesting.
and it's baller.
Please welcome Rochelle Farrell.
And because all this is copyrighted, let me find the one spot. This she'll do it here, I'm pretty sure. We're about to this is the work of a genius.
Loving me like you do.
Right? So she's doing that a little bit.
Yeah.
That's
so
her
much
thing.
like manipulation. Like,
Exactly.
wow. Yeah.
And it's really awesome. The initial vowel that she'll be on will be more or less optimal. People often talk about that as like placement. I don't know if you've heard that one before.
It sounds, maybe I just haven't heard it in a while, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a very voice teacher thing, placement. I just prefer vowels because that actually is what's happening. No, the reason I bring this up is because, can we just go to the previous one? No. Okay, I ruined your groove here. Let's see. Josh O, not Josh Groban. Okay. So one of the things you're doing here, because you taught me about looping, I feel like I got to pay it forward to you. Add this to a playlist, and that way I can keep Rochelle Farrell. Okay, wait, do that. Oh, okay. No, okay. There we go. Sweet. I just want to keep her up here to make a point. And to playlist. Cool. So on the topic of vowels, when you're singing here,
What's it gonna take?
you drop your soft palate there a little bit. That's a very common pop thing, pop aesthetic.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll hear it a lot, especially with like neo soul. Like you'll hear SZA do it. Yeba, kind of. She usually keeps it up. I feel like Yeba expresses herself through like insane like arpeggios and stuff like that. So generally she would keep it up. It tends to be easier when it's up, but the sound that people have when they put their soft palate down is something that a lot of people like. It's an aesthetic that is very popular.
Compromise.
And then you lift
There's
it.
no compromise.
Okay, so those two examples are kind of what I was going to get at. This is the same thing that Rochelle Farrell does, that you're doing here.
'Cause there's no compromise.
Pursed lips here for a more subtle vowel.
Compromise.
Retracting the lips for a brighter vowel.
Whoa.
I'm
I'm like analyzing my own video. It's like, whoa.
Right,
He's doing
right back
this.
at ya.
That's what he's doing. Wow.
Yeah, right back at you. If you're going to teach me about 43 on the delay, was the vinyl? I don't even remember.
It's on the
no, it was on
filter.
kick.
43 on the.
Yeah, it was on the kick.
Yeah.
The resonance was 43. Yeah. So you knew all of this, right? You just jumped into it, and intentionally you were like, I got this. I'm going to lower my soft palate here. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Totally.
So the phrasing that you're doing here, was it just you screwing around with it, or like you've listened, I imagine, to a lot of singers, and so maybe stylistically you've adopted some of that?
I would, I guess, like thinking in retrospect, like I guess the way I sing maybe is influenced by the singers I've listened to. I mean, like when I was singing this, I didn't really like plan out anything. That's just the way I sung it, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's very specific the way you do your phrasing. Which makes sense actually from a musical point of view, because I imagine as a pianist, I mean, practicing touch and phrasing is a big part of the work of developing your piano chops. So it kind of translates here.
What's it gonna take to come to a compromise?
Even a little vibrato in there.
Hell yeah.
'Cause there's no compromise. No compromise.
And that is another domed soft pellet.
There's no compromise. You know this isn't how it needs to be.
Now, okay, now I'm out of my league here. What the hell is that thing?
Yeah, so this is the part where people might get upset with me. That's not technically vocals.
I mean,
It
doesn't sound like it.
yeah,
That's fine. Like, your performing is one thing, but like, this is a different kind of lip syncing. This is lip syncing that you've earned. Frankly, I think lip syncing should be widely accepted, because, especially for big artists, because, you know, Beyonce cancels a concert because she's got a cough, and all of her 100 employees responsible for that show have to not eat. Right? Like, that would be the kind of the situation. So that's why I think lip syncing is actually quite common. But you're lip syncing to what kind of magical chicanery?
Yeah, so what's going on here is, are you familiar with the OSC-bot or oscillator bot effect? Have you heard that at all?
Not the bot, but I know what an oscillator is.
Okay. So on the Mark II, there's an effect called oscillator bot, and it's basically a vocoded oscillator. Like you do whatever input, and then it'll vocode that into like an oscillated frequency. And on the Mark II, you can, I know I talked about like sequencing, like last live stream. You can sequence like a series of notes with oscillator bot. So like with this, I basically sequence like that melody, and then I'm just going like so, and then
making
the result
sound to initiate the note, but the melody itself and even some of the tone is preordained by.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I don't even know if I used preordained correctly there. Sounded good.
It sounded pretty good.
Yeah, it sounded smart. There's going to be someone in the comments. Well, actually, YouTube comments for when you want to be disappointed in humanity.
True.
Although there is Reddit, which is stiff competition. Anyway, I'm not bitter. I'm not internet bitter. So, okay, Alvin and the Chipmunks. The reverb, or the vibrato there, is that you doing it on the knob?
That's so on the Mark, it's an effect. On the Mark II, there is a vibrato effect.
Okay.
So the idea was to mimic like a mod wheel on the keyboard.
Yeah.
You know, to get those nice like
Yeah.
vibrato wavy sounds. So yeah, I just do da 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 da. So I activate it at those points to get.
That's very clever
texture.
And this is what's shocking to me, is that there's very specific things here. Okay, hold on. Whoa. Okay. What are you doing here? What's going on here? Because like you just hit a whole bunch of buttons, and the anticipation is real.
Okay, so this I'm setting up for my next sound that I'm about to do for the next section.
How much do you practice setting that up? Because you went fast, man.
Oh, a lot. Yeah, a lot of it's just like, muscle memory, knowing what to press, how hard to press it, and then just trying to get fast with that.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of just doing it over and over until you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat.
43.
43.
43. Not gonna lie, go ahead.
Yeah, so I set up for that.
Hey, getting a workout here.
That was pretty jumpy, guys.
Better that than stiff.
Whoa, there's a piece of harmony that we lack. Always one step forward and three back. What's it gonna take?
This is smart. You are timing the playback of the chords in order to change and add some variety.
Yeah, I did do that. That was
just like a thing you decided to do in the moment. And you're like, this sounds cool.
Pretty much, yeah. I was just like doing it and like, okay, I can incorporate this somehow.
The amount of times I hear it just sounded cool as an explanation for some of the craziest shit. Like why learn inward bass? Fucking sounded cool. Like it's amazing how much that is the logic in kind of this art form.
What's it gonna take for you to realize?
Ooh, okay. Now is that the same thing? Sequenced Ocelot?
That is also sequenced Ocelot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Slicer? How?
Which part?
The change to the chords, the harmony.
Okay, like the variation.
Yeah, is that just a slicer?
That is a beat scatter.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
To get like some nice variation on like the little.
That's one of those options that I looked at that and I was like, not you. You know what I mean? It's just like intimidating. It's like beat scatter. What the hell is that? That doesn't sound like a scattered beat. That sounds like changing timbre of the harmony and the timing. So you're hitting the track on and off, right? The output track on the on your harmony. So you're taking the beat scatter and turning it on and off in time. Is that what's going on?
So the beat scatter is always on, and then I'm just playing and stopping the track itself.
Oh, okay. How did you find beat scatter? Like, what happened?
I thought it sounded cool. No, I mean, yeah, no, I was just, well, I would say for this specific like section of the track, I wanted some type of like rhythmic variation, so it didn't sound too similar to like the previous parts of the song. And I knew like beat scatter could create some like nice chops for like, the chords, so I just played around with that. Differentiation, yeah, makes it more dynamic to listen to.
All right. First of all, awesome shot. This is going to be the thumbnail.
Oh,
All right. Okay. First of all,
Yeah.
wow, this is a great profile pic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this I just changed it like this week. This is from the American Beatbox Championship.
Oh,
One of
that's
their
cool.
photos that
So they had a
released.
photographer, or they had someone there, just someone there.
They did have, I believe they had like an official photographer, and then there were
Smart.
also some people who just took photos. This photo was from one of those people. Who
Okay.
was there
It's a
taking
great
photos.
photo. Phones are crazy, man. My wife has a Pixel 6, and it's like, I look way more attractive through the lens of that phone. So I stopped looking in the
Really?
mirror unless I have her Pixel 6.
Interesting.
Oof. What I think is interesting here is that there is a part of this that is simply about time spent on the instrument and playing. Right? It's very difficult, especially like no one's writing a manual unless it will boss, but like not a music, like not like a how to art manual for this.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, as a singer, I mean, piano education is a little bit more objective, I think, than singing teaching. But the RC505, I think, is like, you give lessons. What do you do in the lessons?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. What I don't currently teach now, but when I did, it was a mixture of like navigating the machine, like some shortcuts, some button presses to make your workflow more efficient. Just some, like, for example, like I would share like my EQ settings and like the filters to make like your percussion sound good. I To answer your question, I would say a lot of mine was maybe less focused on like what you can, like the crazy effects you can make with the machine specifically, and more so like how to make structure loop tracks specifically. So I would teach some like methodologies on like make, like how to do efficient build-ups, what you should do first, what you should uh, like one thing I would teach is to, like, when you're building your track, you should uh, get comfortable with like omitting some tracks as you're building up so that nothing gets too repetitive.
So really,
making
these
it,
are composition lessons, which is
yeah,
interesting.
I would say so. Yeah, a lot of my lessons were more compositional.
We talked about this, you and I, last time on stream when I asked, like, do you view this as an instrument? Like you would sit down as you would
like
with a piano, and you
compositional
said
device.
no, it's a composition device. So that is interesting, and that makes sense that the lessons would center around that. And then the more technical elements, like with the delay, doing the crazy nonsense, and the vinyl drop.
43.
Like, what was that?
43.
43. Exactly. The secret number, Da Vinci Code.
Secret.
Okay. Wow. It's kind of crazy because this is very new. Like, I mean, maybe I said this in the last video we did. Before this, where every beatboxer just got a looper, or maybe, I don't know, did Boss just like hand them out and was like, go to town? Like, however it started, it is very different than how loopers have done things in the past, which is like just lay down a thing. And that's it. They were just like, it was one track, one phrase. You know, it was a way for solo performers to kind of build something up and then play over for way too long.
Yeah,
because
no,
the same chord progression is. What? Another one. I'm gonna have to tell somebody now. What? I guess that's my question. Like, what?
What?
What? Like, how did it? What? How did it get started for you? I know you said like you were in Discords and you were sharing secrets and tips. Do you have a grandmaster plan, or you were just like, I don't know, shit sounds cool?
I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna say half. I don't really remember, but half like I at least like the music that I wanted to make were some like pre-existing ideas. Like I will say, like back in the day, I was a big fan of GarageBand on my iPhone. I would just
Amazing
make
how many
like some-
people have been that weirded me out when I first learned that people were like actually making recordings that are sounded good on their phone. I
Yeah.
was like, what is this Gen Z? Get off my lawn. Anyway. So GarageBand.
So yeah, that is to say, like I would have like all these like random musical like snippets, just like random ideas of what could be done. And like when I was starting looping, I would have these ideas and I would want to translate them to the loop station. So that is to say, like I have this idea. Let me scroll through all these effects and see which one will do the job the best, and just keep building. Okay, I have this other idea for this track. Let me scroll through, see what does the job. So yeah, it's partially like, oh, it sounds cool, but it's not just like I stumbled upon it like randomly. It had like a pre-existing idea.
Yeah,
kind of.
You use a composition. You take
Composition.
a musical idea and you want to either expand upon it or realize it. I had my roommate in conservatory was composition. That's what he did. He was a composer, and he went to Peabody and got his PhD, did all that. And one of the things that he loved more than any other composition person that I've ever talked to, counterpoint. He loved the crab. He would do crab cannons for fun. He would write crab cannons for fun. For those who don't know, crab cannon is a melody line that works going like, from start to finish, and then can be inverted so that it makes sense from end to start. So it's the same notes like this, but it works harmonically, which is like, it's just like, it's an exercise that people make sound really good. So, man, it's just like, I like that you can use the RC505 and get results and create composition without learning crab cannons. Okay. Is there any little nugget, little secret you want to sprinkle in here? Some words of wisdom.
Oh, just in general, or like,
as far as like, if someone wants to pursue looping, like what is your general outlook? Because like I said, it doesn't seem like you were like, you wrote down and planned it and did a flow chart. You're like, like this is where I want to get to. And then like, what I mean? Like, was it like a Where's Waldo? You're just kind of like screwing around until you find something you like? Like, what is it's a little highfalutin, but your philosophy of getting better? And And both, I mean that for both the RC505 and just as a musician.
Yeah. Okay, good question. Okay. I would boil it down to two things. This, I guess this might be more for like looping specifically, but don't do the music, try to make the music that you want to make. Don't get caught up in, oh, sorry, I mixed my 2 points. The first point is do what you want to make, even if it might go against, like, I'll say, like, the meta of looping. I know, like, when I first started, my first wildcard was in 2020. It was a track called Keep On Singing, and it just had, like, this huge ninth chord, and it had, like, some weird groovy rhythms. And obviously that was very different from, like, the house tracks, the drum and bass tracks with heavy basses and drops.
I mean, just adding a ninth chord and right there, that's already very different.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I was thinking, like, well, people think this is cool. I don't know. Fortunately, people did think it was cool. They thought it was unique. And I want to say, like, stuff like that is what has allowed me to stay, like, relevant and active as far as my stuff.
The latter point, I think, is when you said active. I think that's ZVD, and I talked about this. That's a very difficult, keeping positive motivation in the face of massive discouragement, which will happen.
Oh.
Either because the challenge of learning the instrument, overcoming ignorance, maybe like you have to scrap everything and go backwards. Like you were down a path with using delays to try and make an entire track, and it's just a dead end. So you have to stop, and and it's tough, especially as the community, like, we age, right? And you're doing engineering, right?
I'm doing IT.
IT, okay. I just I'm getting my certs in that. Pays well, much better than YouTube.
Oh, I imagine.
Which is nice. Yeah. So actually, to that end, actually, that is a move I didn't want to make, but I'm glad it happened, because I haven't been able to make a lot of the shit that I want to make. And I'm totally willing to compromise, because people watch my shit, they like my shit, and they support it, and they just, it's so humbling to have people like, when are you making a video? Like, for in the live stream, the first question is, when are you doing your Holly Bailey video?
Yeah, that's fulfilling.
It's just, were you ever tempted to follow the meta? Or did you just break from that because you wanted to? Or rather, it interfered with what you found enjoyable?
I would say, like, maybe when, like, the first year I did stuff, I was kind of, I would prioritize doing, like, my own thing. Maybe, like, in more recent times, I do kind of want to, like, win competitions, and in order to do that, you do have to, like, do certain things.
The meta.
Yeah, follow the meta. So, like, to a point, or to an extent, I maybe incorporate some things, but ultimately I still follow, like, what the things that I want to make.
The balance, the balancing act.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at. I'm on the other end of this. I had I don't know if I mentioned this. when Eclipse and I were doing the React streams, I had an elaborate setup where we'd plan. I would start, stop, or pause the recording as I thought appropriate. I had automated parameters on Advanced Scene Switcher to do jump cuts, and then I would dump that into a folder. I had another script that would take all of those files into another folder to wait to be concatenated with a beginning and an end video. And that was fun at first.
Yeah.
Right? I actually really like doing that shit. It's a blast. I love problem solving and like making, efficient content pipelines. Probably more than action, probably more than singing. If I'm going to be honest with you.
Wow.
But it's excessive, I think. How do you protect yourself from either the motivation being negative or burning out? And I hate the term burning out, because it's like, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like every time a YouTuber is like, oh, I'm burning out, I'm like, bitch, go work a manual 9 to 5. See how you burn out. It's like you're burning out because you have the means, and that's more of a conversation about economic inadequacy and communism. But back to the question. Just gonna drop that right here. Communism. All right. So yeah, maintaining the positive motivation.
Well, let's see. I know for me specifically, I think the positive motivation is that I use to motivate myself is the knowledge, or not the thoughts that there are so many concepts that I want to, I guess, introduce to the community, because like I know for a fact that there are people I know for a fact that there are people in this community that enjoy these different elements, like jazz chords, groovy rhythms, and I haven't seen a lot of that as much as I'd like to in the scene. So I guess knowing that there is things to be done, and I personally want to be a person to like push that.
That's one of the harder ones, is external, right? There's intrinsic motivation, and I think it's extrinsic, or whatever the opposite is, otherwise, or like social motivation. And I used to hate that because I was a lonely, bitter human being. There's something like vulnerable about caring about a scene or a group of people or a style of music, to the extent that you're going to put yourself kind of on the line there, right? Like you said, you did what you wanted to do, but you weren't necessarily being a rebel, right? You're like, this is what I want to do. I want to show you how this is done, and I want to learn as well. So it's like a symbiotic kind of thing, and that's precarious, especially with the tension in the community. Although Vocoder said this, is that most of the contention is online, and that in person everyone's pretty chill.
Oh yeah. No, that's so accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I want to go to an event very badly. There's not much West Coast stuff. So
there's a West Coast Beatbox champs coming up in November.
I hope it's after I have to pay off my solar bill.
Ooh.
We got solar panels installed, and they didn't give us an accurate tax breakdown. It's fine. I mean, ultimately, it brings up the value of the house and yada yada, all this boring, you know, fucking 30-year-old shit. But yeah, we just have to pay it. So that's it. It's actually part of the reason I'm going to do IT. Like I said, though, I guess the reason why I bring up the social thing is, you know, I was making videos for other people, and I tried to make 60 videos a month, and I did it for like 2-3 months. And it's not that I want to stop and lower the quantity. It's that I want to have a conversation. So I guess what I'm asking you is, how do you not become a bitter asshole? Like, how do you, is it just when you go to those in-person events, it's just such an experience to be around those people and have that hive mind?
Well, I mean, I guess because I've only been to two events, and that was this year. I mean, yeah, when I was there live being with everyone, yeah, it is a really nice experience to be with those like-minded people. And yeah, everyone is very friendly in person. Online is its own territory.
I mean, the people that go to on-person things or in-person things are actually quite lovely online. I'm actually surprised at how many people reached out. Vocoder reached out. I'm not sure. I think Eclipse reached out to you, but Vocoder sent me a DM and was like, "Hey, I saw your reaction." Same with Sleep. Dilo just messaged me. Like, it might have been this morning. I know he texted me something. It was like last night or this morning, and then he sent me another text. And the first time I saw it, I was like, "This is some fucking bullshit. This isn't the real account, right? Yeah. This is some spam motherfucking shit." And then I read the note and I looked at his profile. I'm like, okay, that's real. But this is like it was like a general announcement to some of the content creators, and I won't, you know, spill the beans for him, or I don't know if he wants this publicly known or not. But I was like, hey, cool, thanks. And he responds to that. And I was like, the fuck? People here just don't, it's like a lot of people don't give a shit about the clout, which is so bizarre because it's so competition heavy. You know what I mean? Like the high, there's the, whatever the hierarchy would be is not, I don't know. It's like, usually you have people fighting over social status and whatever achieves that status. And I guess with beatboxing and looping, that would be competitions, but at the same time, no one lords over anybody else.
Yeah.
It's kind of astonishing.
It is definitely like a fascinating thing. To think about.
It's a little bit of a tearjerker. If I'm not gonna lie. Like I was very like I ran a nonprofit. I think I mentioned this the last one. I ran a nonprofit, and the degeneration of the health of that community was awful. Right? So I've been wary about being more of an active participant. But holy shit, people in the beatbox community just make it too cool. Right? Like, I'm like, well, you know, I got to do my other thing and monetize that. And then you do like harmonies with auto-tune on a fucking machine, and then like bit crusher things and fucking, I don't know what the fuck, what like the sounds that Dilo makes is just like, what the fuck is that? People put their fucking lips in the shape and they oscillated at sub-bass frequencies. The fuck? Can I tell you how much that pisses off my wife? It's crazy. I guess the point I'm trying to get around to is thank you for contributing to that.
Oh, well, I'm glad to do it. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to talk to you. Camera, no camera. Let's plug your things. You got your Josh O, no hyphen, no dash. Get it right. And you're getting some love from the chat. That they love you.
Thanks, chat. Teal and Mr. Suo. Those are my friends. They're nice.
I've heard of Mr. Suo, but I think it's just because it came up last room, and I'm ignorant as fuck. So, all right, your socials, just Josh O, and that's your YouTube channel. Is there anything else you want to put out there?
YouTube Josh O, and then I'm also on Instagram at josh.o.music. So you can check me out there. That's like the one I'm most active on if you're looking for like me content-ish stuff.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's going to be it. I got to get ready for a Discord watch party that I will be turning into content. And also finish my certification as I don't sleep tonight.
Oh my!
But I mean, it's good. It's a good problem to have. I like the direction where things are going. And if I'm going to be honest, what keeps coming to mind is that there was a drag queen of all things who worked at Starbucks and was putting on a show for 5 years every month.
Wow.
While working at Starbucks. Every single show, he never took any money, ever. He always paid the artist the most because he knew that if he had the best artists over any other event, it's loading, is it? But he knew that if he had it over any other event, that it would grow, and it did grow. And it grew so much that he did a theater project, and it just like made ungodly amounts of money, and that was the catalyst for him becoming an artist full time. And really, 5 years is not that much. Is it really loading? I'm not getting. Oh no, the previous good. I don't know. Could just be a thing. Anyway.
I think it's yours, fine.
All right. Yeah, I got to get ready. I'm sorry. I just like talking to you. So it's a problem. Be less interesting. So, yeah. All right. Thank you for joining this conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I will try to cut this up and put more things on the platforms. Peace.